Some motorcycles are more than steel and chrome. They're milestones in history. From a 1911 Harley single that once belonged in a museum to the legendary Knucklehead and rare sidecar models, each of these machines tells a story of craftsmanship and heritage. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning to appreciate vintage bikes, this lineup is packed with treasures you won't want to miss. Stick around, because the next few minutes could show you the crown jewel for your collection. Number 1. 1950 Harley-Davidson Panhead with sidecar. We open this lineup with a beautifully restored 1950 Panhead FL, complete with a matching sidecar. Painted in period-correct Riviera blue, it features a professionally rebuilt engine and transmission, plus a raked triple tree with a 3-speed and reverse. The restoration includes plenty of correct accessories, making it not just a rider, but also a showpiece. For collectors, a Panhead with its original sidecar is a rare combination that instantly raises its desirability. Number 2. 1945 Harley-Davidson Panhead with package truck sidecar. Here's a unique story. A Panhead built by Kenny Apple, connected to the East Coast Sturgis legacy. This one comes with a 1945 Harley package truck sidecar and has about 1,957 miles. The seller notes that it runs great and has been regularly ridden year-round. Beyond its mechanical appeal, the provenance makes this bike interesting, especially for collectors who value motorcycles with a personal history tied to the Harley community. Number 3. 1911 Harley Single. Now we're stepping way back in time. A 1911 Harley single, over 110 years old, recently pulled from museum display after a decade. This bike is the definition of antique motorcycling. With a title in hand and the opportunity to inspect it at the seller's home, it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to own a pre-World War I Harley. For collectors of early American motorcycles, a machine like this is as much an artifact as it is a motorcycle. Number 4. 1920 Matchless Model H with sidecar. From across the Atlantic, here's a 1920 Matchless Model H. This British antique comes with a sidecar and a 1000cc twin engine. It's an older restoration, but that only adds to its patina and historical charm. You won't find many of these on American roads, making it a standout for collectors who want something beyond Harley or Indian. A century-old machine like this is guaranteed to turn heads at any vintage event. Number 5. 1972 Harley-Davidson Electra Glide Project. Jumping forward in time, this 1972 Electra Glide is more of a project but with potential. It's a shovel head offered alongside a 2008 model as well. At $4,500 each, the seller is willing to part out rolling chassis depending on what a buyer wants. While it's not museum-ready, it's a solid entry point for someone looking to build their own vision of a classic Harley touring bike. Number 6. 1976 Harley-Davidson Electra Glide. Sticking with the Electra Glide, here's a 76 model with 39,000 miles. It still wears its original paint, has matching numbers, and comes with original bags. Recently fitted with a new S&S carb, new tires, and rebuilt brakes, it's a solid rider. The seller notes a transmission leak that will need attention, but with so many correct parts included, this bike offers both collectability and usability at a very approachable $5,000 price. 7. 1946 Harley-Davidson FL Knucklehead. This 1946 FL Knucklehead is the kind of machine that defines Harley-Davidson collecting. Freshly rebuilt with less than 400 miles on both the motor and transmission, it's a true time capsule from the post-war era. Everything about this bike screams authenticity. The original frame, a 38 Springer front end, factory VIN, and matching belly numbers. It even wears its original flight red paint on the tanks, one of the most sought-after colors from that period. With original dash, speedometer, and switch still in place, plus narrow brace fenders and correct star hub wheels, this Knucklehead checks nearly every box for collectors. At $55,000, it's not just a motorcycle, it's a museum-quality piece of American motorcycling history. Eight. 1978 Harley-Davidson FLH 75th Anniversary Edition. Next up, a milestone bike, the 1978 FLH 75th Anniversary Edition. Harley-Davidson built this model to celebrate 3/4 of a century of motorcycle heritage, and it remains one of the most collectible factory editions of the shovelhead era. The seller describes this example as near perfect, close to 100-point restoration. It comes with its matching tour pack, the owner's manual, and beautiful anniversary paint that is held up remarkably well. These special editions are steadily climbing in value, making this one not only a joy to ride, but also a solid long-term collectible investment. Nine. 1987 Harley-Davidson Electra Glide Classic FLHTC. Here's something from the late 80s, a 1987 Electra Glide Classic. At first glance, it may seem like just an older touring bike, but models like these are becoming increasingly interesting to collectors as the shovelhead era gives way to the evolution motor era. This one has 44,000 miles and was recently recommissioned after a long 20-year rest. The seller rebuilt the carburetor, starter, and brake systems, installed new tires, and refreshed the forks with progressive springs. It's not flawless, but that's part of the charm. At just $3,750, it represents an affordable entry into the vintage Harley touring segment, and for the right buyer, it's a bike with plenty of stories left to tell. Ten. 1967 FLH Electra Glide with factory sidecar. Now here's a rare sight, a 1967 FLH Electra Glide complete with factory Harley sidecar. Showing only 16,000 original miles, this bike sat for over a decade in storage, but its engine and transmission had been rebuilt not long before being parked. It features a tank shift, foot clutch, and even a 3-speed with reverse, a configuration that's highly unusual and highly collectible today. Sidecar-equipped Electra Glides are sought after by both riders and collectors, as they represent Harley's versatility in the touring market during the 1960s. At $21,550, this bike is both a conversation piece and a rolling piece of Harley-Davidson history. Eleven. 1951 Harley-Davidson servi-car. Few motorcycles are as unique as Harley's servi-car. Originally designed for utility use, they were commonly employed by service stations and even police departments for decades. This particular 1951 model is partially restored and still a work in progress, but it's packed with new and rebuilt components. From freshly painted tanks and frame to a rebuilt rear axle, new cylinders, and a restored dash with new speedometer, it's clearly on its way to being a showpiece. The current owner even added a modern twist with wide glide forks and a freewheeler cargo box. At $6,000, it offers an affordable chance to own one of Harley's most distinctive three-wheelers. (12) 1965 Honda CA77 Dream. Closing out this lineup is something unexpected, a 1965 Honda Dream. While not a Harley, it holds an important place in motorcycle history. The CA77 Dream helped introduce reliable, stylish, and affordable motorcycles to the American market during the 1960s. This example is almost entirely original. Paint, seat, engine, and frame all date back to the factory. Even the period-correct white-walled tires are still in place. It's been carefully stored in a climate-controlled environment for the last decade, and when tested recently, it fired up after just a few kicks. At $2,750, it's a historically significant Japanese classic, and it highlights the diversity of collectible bikes beyond American iron. That concludes today's look at a dozen remarkable classics, each carrying decades of history and collector value. From beautifully restored Harleys to rare European antiques and even an original Honda Dream, these motorcycles continue to inspire passion and preserve the spirit of motorcycling's golden age. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of collectible motorcycles. Until next time, ride safe, collect wisely, and keep the history alive.